or your drive.
Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Ron Reeves. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-873-1700 and let me help you by combining your home and auto.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
Danny Brewer back with you. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com. Danny Brewer once again back with you. I am extremely pleased now to be joined by Rockvale head football coach James Counce. Coach Counce, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm quite well. You know, I want to start things off by saying, man, I'm extremely pleased to be with you this morning. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you personally, so I want to kind of go over some just like basic stuff so you can educate old hillbilly like me. Tell me a little bit about James Counce. Henry County, is that where you're from?
Yes, sir. I went to high school there. My dad was a long-time coach there, and then, of course, I played at MTSU, but when I graduated, I got into coaching with my dad. At that time, we were at Dyersburg, went to MBA for a little bit, and then ended back at Henry County in 2010. So, yeah, that's pretty much home, where I grew up, but you know, it's a good place.
So tell me a little bit about MTSU. When did you play at MTSU?
90 through 94. 90
through 94. You might know my boy O.J. Smith. You know O.J. Smith?
I do know O.J. Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so me and my man O.J., we were, because I was at the game last night, and we're over there, and Coach Lyons, too, Perry Lyons, me and Coach Lyons, good buddies, we were standing over there, and they said, and they mentioned MTSU, and I thought, dang, I ought to, of course, I didn't play at MTSU, I'm a little bit older than y'all boys, but still, they said, yeah, when Coach Lyons was talking about you to OJ, he said, yeah, man, he played in Middle. Oh, and OJ was like, yeah, I remember. So you must have made an impression on some folks at Middle Tennessee State.
I don't know about that, but I did play with OJ, and I'm thinking back, right? Didn't he play at Smyrna?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I joke with OJ that he's the second best quarterback Smyrna's ever had. He might be the first best because OJ was pretty dang good in his day. I'm telling you what, just more moves than X-Lax. I'm telling you, the kid, he could flat do it on the football field.
Yes, sir. He was a good player. Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about last night's game. Showed up big in the first quarter. Last 3 minutes of the first half weren't necessarily the way you want them to roll.
Yeah, you know, offensively, you know, we, defense started us out great. I think they had three and outs or four. Offensively, you know, we moved the ball a little bit there and just couldn't finish the drives and ended up trying to kick field goals and obviously made one of those and missed two more, had two blocked, and then right there before half we had that one blocked and they picked it up and scored on that, you know, right before half and we just got to learn to offensively we got to finish, you know, we got to finish drives and do a better job with that but our defense played really good in the first half and credit to Smyrna. They did a great job. Kids are ready to play and I think that's the thing about this league is you know, you can't take a dip and not have a good game. You've got to play consistent and you've got to be ready to play every week, you know, and no matter how you feel, you may not feel your best, but we still got to go and perform and and because everybody, competition is really good, and I think that's something that we're trying to learn as a team, and but credit to Smyrna and Coach Williams and those guys, and they played extremely hard and got after us last night. Played a little harder than we did.
One of the things that I was impressed with from you guys, you touched on the passing game. I think you guys threw the ball really well at times last night and gave yourself opportunities. Just like you get the ball with 30 seconds left, roughly in the first half, down 14-3, and you get in field goal range. You get there to a chance to put points on the board. Unfortunately, that was where the block kick happened. I think that was a huge momentum change because it could have been 14-6 instead of 21-3.
Yeah, and then they got the ball coming back out in the third quarter. So that was a big momentum swing for them. And but now we're throwing the football. we're getting better. I think we're getting more in sync. Guys are learning each other. And we're getting better. Knowing what each other's thinking and that kind of stuff. So like I told them guys last night, it's not where we start. This is a season, not a game. And as we work through the year, going through these situations, if we learn from this, which we need to, it's going to put us in a better situation later on, and that's when you want to be your best anyway. So, all these learning situations, getting better throwing the football, and guys getting more comfortable, and with each other. And I know late, I know we threw some interceptions late just because we were, our game plan had changed because of the score, and we were doing things there to, trying to score pretty quick, and they got some picks there, but our kids kept playing, and that's all I can ask. I told them after the game, that I was sorry, and that I've got to do a better job as a coach, and I promised them that myself and my coaching staff, we were going to come to work Monday and coach as hard as we can coach. That's all we can do.
Absolutely right on that. When you talk about the physicalness of the game and your physical presence, you got good size in the trenches. When you look at the sideline over there, before the game started and stuff, and I'm looking, man, you guys got some big kids over there. You got some nice size up front. Talk a little bit about the boys in the trenches.
We do, and the thing about those kids are, we're a young football team, and we've got 43 sophomores, and 3 of the offensive linemen that I've got are sophomore, and 2 juniors up there. Logan Duncan is the only senior, and sophomore tight end. So there's a lot of things that those guys are experiencing for the first time. Because this is the first time they've really been put into this kind of speed of the game and those kind of things, and it's a learning curve for sure. But up front defensively, it was physical. They're good size and big and physical up front, just like we feel like we are. And Melvin Boone and Dallas Paldo and those guys up front there are getting after each other, and it was a physical football game. But yeah, we're young up front on the offensive side, and it's a process. It's going to take a little time for those guys to experience these situations and how fast the game is, and because none of them got a whole lot of reps last year. We did play Jerome Parker some. He played offensive line. He plays both ways for us. And he did a great job last night getting in the game, and so we're getting some of the pieces where we need to, and getting better with experience in the situations and things that you do as you grow through being a high school offensive lineman and the things that people can do. It takes a little time.
Absolutely, Coach James Counce with Rockvale here. Let's talk a little bit about you. You said, hey, there's no easy games in this league, and there are not. So kind of out of the frying pan into the fire. This week you host Siegel. Huge matchup with Siegel this week.
You know, they play everybody. It seems like how the schedule goes. They play everybody the week before we do. So, you know, we've kind of watched Siegel a little bit there because we've had film on them and the opponent that we were playing. But, you know, Coach Renshaw and them done a great job, and they beat Smyrna, you know, in a low scoring game, 13-10, and you know, the week before last, and you know they're it's a big game, you know, now that things have failed the way they have, but no, they're a good football team, and got some things we got to get ready for, and you know they seem to find a way, you know, and you know we got to understand that and be ready to match their intensity and you know, get ready to play and take care of the things that we can take care of.
Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate your time. I can say this just from our brief experience here. One thing you can count on is James Counce at Rockvale doing the right thing. Coach, you got them headed in the right direction. We appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete. Big Dalton, it's a wrap.
At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee,